Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 5 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I was not planning on making this video at all, but I gotta say something about this. And more than that, I want to hear what you guys got to say about this. It shouldn't even be a story, but it is. The reason I'm talking about it is it keeps getting bigger. What am I talking about? The Biden fist bump. Oh, God help us. Biden fist bump too. Is it the Saudi? He's a prince, right? The prince from royalty from Saudi Arabia. That's where Biden was visiting Saudi Arabia, trying to, seeing as that we are all dealing with oil issues because of the war in the Ukraine and with Russia and everything. And post-pandemic, we're dealing with a volatile oil prices, let's say. And Biden's going over there trying to negotiate our point of view, a better situation for us. Okay, great. The Biden administration released something saying about talking about civility and the need for a working relationship, and I couldn't agree more. It's a fist bump, for crying out loud. How else? Really? What are the other options when you walk up to the prince? When you walk up to anybody, if he just stood there and didn't shake it, didn't do anything, there'd be a big stink about that. If he shook his hand, there'd be a big stink about that. No matter what he does, there'd be a big stink about it. But the right wing, the Trumpers, are making a big deal about this, and I want to point out the hypocrisy here. Okay, first of all, just yesterday, Tucker Carlson says he couldn't care less. Once again, Tucker Carlson couldn't care less about the Ukraine. But he says he's not pro-Russian like you've heard, but he couldn't care less what's going on in the Ukraine. And now the hypocrisy, all of a sudden they are so concerned because of apparently the prince is tied to the death of a journalist and torture and dismemberment of a journalist, which is horrifying and wrong, human rights violations. But for the right wing to all of a sudden act like they actually care about anything outside the United States or about anything other than themselves is just a load of hypocrisy. And to top it all off, it was the death of a journalist. This is the same group of people that are constantly crying about what they call the fake news and the fake news and all that stuff. So now all of a sudden they're outraged that Biden would actually fist bump somebody who killed a journalist when these people call for the same things at every Trump rally. Trump points out any journalist right there. That's pretty much what Trump does at every rally. Is he's one inch away from endangering journalists' lives. But now all of a sudden, right wingers have come across, found their conscience, their consciousness, their compassion, and they're so concerned, they're so outraged that Biden would fist bump this prince's hand. Okay, now here's for the big one. Let me bring this up. Did they all seem to forget the North Korean general and Donald Trump? This is one of the ones that just stuck in my mind. It ticked me off. It disgusted me when Trump went to North Korea. This is just one instance. Having the right wing complain about a freaking fist bump, and then this what the butt kissing that Trump did to every single dictator in the world. They seem to have forgotten about that. So anyway, yeah, Trump. If you remember that, I'll just try to find a link and put it down below. But I'm sure you all remember where Trump is meeting a series of generals, and he comes to an older North Korean general. Now, what came to my mind is this North Korean general. He has a big North Korean hat on and everything, tons of medals, and Trump looks all confused. Awkward, socially awkward. He goes to shake his hand, and he goes like this, and then like this, like he doesn't know what to do. Like he's intimidated by this North Korean general, and he finally ends up saluting a North Korean general, Donald Trump, when he was president of the United States. Salutes a North Korean general. Fact. All right. The thing that came to my mind is the age of this North Korean general. He had to, in all those medals, he had to be a major participant in the, it wasn't a war, the North Korean police conflict or whatever they called it. So more than likely, this man that Donald Trump saluted, this general, had a direct hand in the death of American servicemen, without a doubt. Without a doubt. If you think that through, his age, this general's age. And here, the President of the United States is saluting this guy who had a hand, I'm sure, had a hand in American servicemen's deaths. All right, and for them to now all of a sudden be outraged about a fist bump with the Saudi prince. And let me point this out too, like the Biden administration themselves said, it's the prince. We could call him an unsavory character, but for our own self-interest, we need to keep a working relationship, exactly like the Biden administration said. We're doing it with America. He did it with Americans' self-interests at heart, with our self-interests at heart, even if it was unsavory, a fist bump. Because you got to, anybody that's in business is, you can't, you have to put that stuff aside sometimes. Now let's look over at the North Korea and the Trump saluting North Korean general. Did that have any, was there any benefit to the American people? No, none whatsoever. North Korea is a non-player in the whole world stage. It has no significance whatsoever, other than trying just to make sure they don't obtain any kind of dangerous weapon, nuclear weapons. There's nothing in it for us. There's no working relationship with North Korea. There's no need for a working. They're the only ones that would have something to benefit from this. And again, so Trump goes there and salutes, like I say, so this is pretty much the opposite of the reason why Biden had to do, to deal with unsavory characters, as I call them, and a working relationship, and do a fist bump, a greeting, be cordial, do what you have to do to get business done for American people's self-interest. And on the other hand, Trump, that was just for his own ego, his love of tyrants, saying how Kim Jong-il, he admires Kim Jong-il because the way he rules his millions of people with an iron fist. And this is the Trump that unfortunately probably will be trying to run for president again, could actually be the president of our country again. This guy that admires dictators and salutes a general 99.99% surely had a hand in the death of American servicemen. Unbelievable. The hypocrisy is overwhelming. It makes me gag on it. All right, that's all I got to say about the Biden fist bump. Let me know what you guys think. Have a great Monday.